The most exciting decade in history. In 2011, Robert Kiyosaki, a savvy personal finance author, published a book called Unfair Advantage: The Power of Financial Education. In this book, he states that the decade from 2010 to 2020 will prove to be the most exciting decade in world history. These 10 years will mark the end of the American Empire. The US dollar will prove to be a fraud. A whole new world economy, powered by low-cost technology, will emerge. Those who are financially educated, prepared, flexible, and adaptable will have the best 10 years of their lives. Conversely, those who are still waiting for the happy days of the past to return will have the worst 10 years of their lives. With that being said, we are now in 2022 and many things have happened, from the crypto boom of 2017 and 2020 and the worldwide pandemics. If the past 10 years haven't been the worst 10 years of your life, take a moment to congratulate yourself. You must have done something right. But if the past 10 years have not been life-changing, there must be a few things you can do to thrive in this age of information. If you haven't yet read it, this video is a summary of Kiyosaki's book. Much of the knowledge exposed in it is still of actuality today. Let's dive in on the things you need to know in order to gain an unfair advantage. Unfair advantage number 1: knowledge. According to Kiyosaki, financial knowledge will be the most important type of education that you can have. Unfortunately, we cannot rely on our current education system to prepare us for this rapidly changing world. Rather, you must take it upon yourself to be financially educated. He goes as far as saying that knowledge obtained from traditional education only prepares you to become an employee, just like nursing school will only prepare you to be a nurse. In some cases, you might become self-employed or a small business owner. These options apply to lawyers, medical doctors, or accountants. But be they employed or self-employed, people in these two categories work the hardest and pay the highest taxes in our modern society. And because they lack financial education, they mindlessly send the leftover money to pension funds or to savings accounts, earning near zero interest returns. With financial knowledge comes power. In the information era, using the internet to readily find resources, anyone can gain enormous wealth in today's economy. All one has to do is become serious about their financial education. Be flexible enough to adapt to new ideas and start taking small actions. Kiyosaki emphasizes that real-life financial education is a lifelong process. It will not always be easy, and it certainly is not failure-proof. But as your knowledge and experience increase, your confidence improves, the risk of your investment goes down, and money starts flowing in rather than out. Unfair advantage number 2: taxes. For most of us, taxes are an unescapable lifelong punishment sent by the government, but Kiyosaki encourages us to see taxes in a different light. To him, taxes are government incentives to encourage citizens to do what the government wants to be done. That is, to keep the economy going by investing in businesses, which in turn create more jobs and more wealth. If you do what the government wants, you can earn lots of money and pay less tax. All of us in the employed and self-employed categories pay the most in taxes because we only create jobs for ourselves. Meanwhile, investors and big businesses are getting away with little if not zero taxes at all. Did you know that Warren Buffett, the current 5th richest man in the world, pays a lower tax rate than his secretary? How does he do that? As the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, Buffett does not pay himself much in salary because the incremental bracket system means that the more money you make in salary, the more income tax you pay. Instead, he pays himself in his company's stock and qualified dividends that are taxed at much lower rates. We work so hard to earn that high salary only to give back half of it in tax. There is no tax relief for hard-working employees. You have to earn less if you want to pay back less, but that's a lose-lose situation for you. According to Kiyosaki, if you want to earn more and pay less taxes, you need to change the type of income you work for. The 3 types of incomes are: number 1, earned or ordinary income. Earners of this type of income pay the highest taxes. Number 2, portfolio income. Earners of this type of income pay the second highest taxes. Number 3, passive income. Earners in this category pay the least taxes. The take-home message is this: the harder you work for money, the more you pay in taxes. The harder money works for you, the less you pay in taxes. Unfair advantage number 3, debt. Debt is such an important topic that we dedicated an entire video talking at length about it. Please check the link in the top right corner and the description below for more detail. In short, Kiyosaki reveals that debt becomes an integral part of our world economy. If governments and businesses were to stop borrowing, the economy would collapse. Any kind of crisis in this modern world is being solved by creating more debt. You don't have to look beyond the 2020 pandemic to realize that governments around the world got themselves into more debt by funding different emergency responses benefit programs via more money printing. That explains why the interest rate for both savers and borrowers is low and why the inflation rate skyrocketed. When the inflation rate outpaces the interest rate, savers become losers because the dollars stashed in a savings account today become cheaper dollars tomorrow. The savers end up losing value on their dollars, whereas borrowers are rewarded. This is one of the many unfortunate outcomes of the modern monetary system. Kiyosaki believes that it is imperative for people to learn the truth about debt and how to use it to their advantage. By using debt the right way, it's possible to create true wealth. We should also note that the use of debt is an advanced strategy that requires solid financial education. Unfair advantage number 4. Risk. People with poor financial education avoid investing because they don't usually want to take any risk. The risk avoidance tendency is so strong that they convince themselves not to invest in their financial education, and they prefer to blindly give away their hard-earned money to a financial advisor and simply hope for the best. Even worse, some people hate risk so much that the only place they can entrust their money is in the bank's savings account. Kiyosaki explains that by avoiding risk, people actually end up leading lives of extreme risk. This playing it safe mantra leads people to believe in such things as job security, safe investments like mutual funds, well-diversified portfolios, and saving money at a bank. Little do they know, the conscious decision to remain financially uneducated is the riskiest and most dangerous thing people can do in their lives. The solution is to learn to gain control over your investments in order to reduce risk, and that starts with looking into your financial education. The more you know, the greater control you have over your finances, and the more the risk drops. Unfair advantage number 5. Compensation. By now, it should come as no surprise to anyone that working for money doesn't make us rich. The harder you work, the more you pay in taxes, and the more money you lose. You already learned that from Warren Buffett's earlier example about taxes. Our tax system is designed to punish the most hardworking employees of the middle class while giving all the benefits to the very rich. This is very ironic because the hard workers are the ones who deserve the extra cash, yet receive the least in the end. They get caught in the cycle of hard work, higher taxes, bad debt, and inflation. They look like hamsters on the wheel, stuck in a rat race going nowhere. There is little wonder why there is such a big labor shortage in North America in 2022. People are fed up and they simply stop working. Many simply say, "Why work any harder? The more money I make, the more the government just takes away." That is precisely why the rich don't work for their money. Instead, the rich follow the laws of compensation. Kiyosaki points out that if we only focus on making money just for ourselves and our family, then taxes and debt work against us. Instead, if we learn to produce more and serve more people, we'll be compensated in return. Think about Jeff Bezos. Whether you love him or hate him, his company Amazon generates millions of jobs and serves millions of customers every day. Because of this, he became one of the richest men in the world. When a person is successful in serving more people, taxes and debt also swing in their favor. According to Kiyosaki, the reason why so many people are limited financially is because they pick a job and only learn to work for money. The answer would be to rather figure out how to serve more people and the wealth will follow. There you have it, 5 unfair advantages by Robert Kiyosaki. If you find this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Do you agree with Robert Kiyosaki that the past 10 years were the most exciting times of our lives? Leave us a comment below. See you next time.